Let's take a look at the 3.0 Majin Vegeta by Black Hole Toys and TK. This is the dark blue variant. They're calling this guy Demon's Awakener. This is version A, so no battle damage this time. On the back, it just says Black Hole Toys and TK. We have a nice picture of Majin Vegeta there shooting the blast. This is actually a battle damage Majin Vegeta. And then on the front is the Majin Vegeta with no battle damage. Again, this is the dark blue variant. I got this guy off of hobbymodelsstore.com. It came out to around $44. This one's actually cheaper than the battle damage one. So this is what you get in your clamshell. We have several different hands, 2 head sculpts again, 6 different face plates, and then this key blast is actually different. So here are the differences between version A of the light blue gi. So the only difference would be the hair color this time. On the Soul and Valor, which is the light blue, is the pearlescent hair, and then on the dark blue version, we're getting the light yellow with the matte finish. So, and then the key blast effects are different. I honestly like this key blast effect. It's probably the best looking one out of all the variants that have released. But we'll take a closer look at this one to see if this is the one that you'd use for your figure. So let's take a close look at this guy and see which version of this Vegeta that you want to add to your collection. So several different hands. These are all the same hands that the other variants came with. Some of these look familiar to the 2.0 Vegetas as well. So a lot of different looks that we could get out of those. Next, we have 6 different face plates, and these face plates don't have any battle damage on them. This is the non-battle damage version A. So for the first face, he's looking off to the side. The next face, he's looking straight forward and smirking. The next face, we have a yelling face. The next face is, he's kind of like smirking or laughing with sweat details that look really good. The next face is a straight looking forward face. And then for the last face is the iconic scene of him blasting the stage. So a lot of different faces to choose from. So next is this key blast effect. And this key blast effect is definitely different from all the other variants. And one thing I will say about this key blast effect though, I don't remember Vegeta having any move that looks like this. But this is soft rubber plastic. Both sides come off. So you can either pose him just holding the orb or have these extra pieces hanging off to the side. But it is a little flat. But the details look okay. It's got some electric going through the orb. And then this part here just reminds me of the Kid Buu that came out from Tauntaun Art Toys. But when you get pretty creative with this key blast effect, I'd probably have mine without the extra pieces on there. So next are the head sculpts. One is with no wind blowing and the other one is windswept. I personally like the finish and the color on these hair sculpts a lot better. It's the light yellow with the matte finish. And both of these head sculpts look good. And I mentioned in the other videos before, I'm glad that they're sending us 2 different head sculpts. And we can use these on these Vegetas and other Vegetas if you wanted to. So it is a Super Saiyan 2 style, so there's a lot more spikes and detail. TK always does a really good job. It looks good from all angles. So both head sculpts look really good from all angles. Differences between the two, going from Soul and Valor to Demon's Awakener, which is a light blue to dark blue, but you have the pearlescent look, and then you have the matted light yellow look. So I like the matte color a lot better, but a lot of people really like the pearlescent look. But they both do look good nonetheless, capturing Super Saiyan 2 form and in Majin Vegeta. And again, TK always does a really good job with their head sculpt, so we didn't have to worry too much about that. When I first seen these head sculpts though, like in the promo pictures, they didn't look too good, but now having them in hand and looking at them on the shelf, I actually think that these are like one of the best Vegeta head sculpts that have been made. So finally, this figure, and we'll keep this non-windswept head on while we take a closer look. So this is the dark blue variant with no battle damage. So we have the skin tone paint for the chest that matches the skin tone plastic. I mean, it is slightly off, but you can't really tell. It's always hard to match skin tone paint. I mean, it's even hard for like the companies that are making the figures. I try to make skin tone paint and that's very difficult. So I would say let's leave well enough alone. There is some complaints about the color being off slightly, but I mean that's not too bad. Like when you put them on the shelf, you're not going to be able to tell at all. We have the skin tone plastic for the arms. We have the off-white plastic for the gloves and the boots. And then the tip of the boot is painted a slightly darker yellow. And we'll make a comparison between the light blue later and you'll see what I'm talking about. But this is all dark blue plastic. And from the promo pics, it was closer to black in my opinion. But in hand, this is definitely dark blue and it looks really good. And I was asked on one of the comments which variant will be my favorite, and I honestly without any head swaps, so I would say that I really like the dark blue better, only because it has the matte head sculpt, and at the end of the day the dark blue doesn't even really look that bad. So before we make a comparison, we'll just do his articulation real quick, and it is the same as the other variants. The 3.0 neck peg works well. I don't really have much QC issues in these guys. This is definitely a solid figure, and I mentioned before that I'm starting to really like Black Hole Toys. I mean, they were making clones before, and you know, we would consider that a bootleg because it's kind of like reused parts. But then for this one, you know, they made like a whole new figure, so they're showing what they're capable of. I know they have promo pics of like a Super Vegeta and a bulked up Trunks and the hyperbolic time chamber Goku when he gets all buff. But you know, I'm excited to see like how the rest of their figures come out and what they're gonna look like and things like that, because I would honestly say that this might be you know, if not the best, this is like one of the best Vegetas in my opinion. And we don't have any other Majin Vegeta that's 3.0 to compare it to. All we do have is the older 2.0 versions. And going from 2.0 to 3.0, I like what the 3.0s look like now. It makes the 2.0 feel like flimsy, especially in the legs and in the ankles here. This is like a double ball peg ankle and things like that. So, you know, the complaint about the 3.0 is that the shoulders sit out too far. And honestly, Majin Vegeta, he doesn't really have a tank top on. It's kind of like a unitar. So even in the 2.0, it's still kind of hanging out a little bit because he's less bulky. It, you know, I guess it looks a little bit different in the way the shoulders are made. So a lot of people are shaving their shoulders down, but I just push mine in, and I think that looks like, again, we gotta leave well enough alone. I think this is a really dope figure. Like, it looks so dope. And again, you know, coming from 2.0 to 3.0 now, Black Hole Toys is definitely killing it. So it looks better than the 2.0 in my opinion, but it's all personal preference at the end of the day. And then from light blue to dark blue, to figure out which variant that you would want to get. Again, I answered the question as to which one I would want to add to my collection. And the light blue comes with the pearlescent head sculpts. Let me just put that on here so that we can make a better comparison. But the light blue comes with the pearlescent head sculpts, and then the dark blue has the matte head sculpt. So all preference at the end of the day. I think the gloves are the same, but then here we go with the tip of the boots. I mentioned that one's darker and then one's lighter, so, or it's just a different color yellow, I guess I would say, but you could definitely tell the difference. So there's differences in color, so whatever your preference is, you can choose that. Or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the matte head sculpts on my light blue ones also, and I think that looks really good. So again, I'm glad that they gave us so many head sculpts with each variant, so that way we can kind of head swap and things like that and get whichever Vegeta that we feel looks the best. So my overall thoughts on this figure, I think the dark blue looks sick. I think the light yellow and then the matte finish on the hair sculpts look super dope. Depending on which variant you would want to get, and I'll bring them all out right now. I ended up putting all the matte head sculpts on each variant, but as you can see, the only reason that you would choose either or is just for the color preference. So whichever one you choose, I think they all look just as dope as the other one. And Again, this is a figure that I feel like you should not miss out on. Probably one of the best Vegeta releases that we've gotten so far, and it's a 3.0 Majin Vegeta. There's not really much we can compare it to, so I'll leave a link in the description below as to where I got mine from. That way you guys can get your hands on at least one of these. So if you guys feel like this video was helpful, you can go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to keep an eye out for my next videos to come, go ahead and subscribe. Until then, thank you for watching.